Hello YouTube, this is Cover 2 Credits, and today we will do our first video game review. Which is kind of sad, since we play video games all the time. We never haven't reviewed a single one yet.
I haven't played any new games.
Well, whatever. Today we have a new game. Brand new, hot off the presses. Today we'll be doing H1Z1, a zombie survival game by Sony Online Entertainment.
Now, both of us played another game by Sony Online Entertainment, PlanetSide 2. Very, very well done. Would you agree?
I like it.
Huge scale, giant maps, is there a limit on the players per map on that?
Yeah, there is. I don't know what it is.
But it's gigantic. You're talking like, how many do you think off the top of your head? We've seen like, what, a 500 person battle easily?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking big numbers on gigantic maps. They've taken a lot from, not like you're not having that big a map. What's the limit for this?
150 players, I think, somewhere in there.
So, what we've seen peak performance right now has been, what, 40,000 players at one time?
Yeah, that was the top on Steam numbers.
And the average is about 15, I think is what it says. 15,000 players at any given time. That's
pretty
good. Now, there was some controversy at the beginning of this. They have been pushing for a long time that this is going to be a free-to-play game. You had to buy the alpha test. Is it alpha?
Early access.
Early access, that's what I'm looking for. You had to buy that, which was one thing. But then, right before launch, they came out with this talking about how you could buy keys, and then call in airdrops, and the airdrops would bring in possibly weapons, possibly what else? There's like what, 4 or 5
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but the problem with this is, if you did it right, you kind of could get that uncontested if you did it right, and that became an issue for people because then necessarily it's not free to play and it's more of a there is a pay to win aspect possibly.
Well, it was one stream, and basically what happened is a dude called in 3 airdrops in a row, and they all pretty much landed right at his feet.
Yep.
Which Sony said was a bug. I don't know if it was actually a bug or if they lied or what the issue was.
Either way, people were up in arms for it.
People were not impressed.
In fact, so much so that they were giving refunds back right after launch day because of that issue. People were very, very upset by it and were getting refunds back. I don't know how many people take the refunds, but they were offering them. Basic survival horror game. There are obviously 2 main game types, survival and battle royale. Do you want to explain battle royale?
Pay to get into battle royale.
Or find tickets.
Or find tickets in the world, and I have found a bucket full of tickets. Like 8 probably, just laying around in random places.
I'm going to start stealing tickets from him.
Basically, if you played DayZ, you played this game, if you played Rust, it's all the same sort of thing. You start in a world with pretty much nothing, and it is your job to, 1, to survive, and 2, do whatever you really want. Sandbox game, there's no real point. There's no real objective. You just do whatever you feel like.
Survival.
Which usually involves running around and murdering people with automatic assault rifles.
Breaking down bases.
Or swearing at people while you punch them to death.
That happens a lot.
That does.
Explain Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is another game type which was original in the DayZ mod as well.
In Arma as well.
In Arma, they hired the dude actually who came up with Battle Royale originally to do the Battle Royale in H1Z1. You paradrop in to the world and you find a bucket full of guns and weapons and
100 people?
100 people. Last man standing wins. And as you play, like fog toxic gas will come in from the sides of the map slowly, and until it pushes all of you into a tiny box. And like I said, it's pretty much just murder everyone and live as long as you can until the game's over. Played one today for the first time, and it was pretty fun. I'm terrible with guns. I'm awful.
And yeah, how'd you do?
And I got 10th or 11th. We're not really sure.
Place.
By pretty much just hiding and running.
Yeah, you found one guy and,
He killed me.
well, didn't have a gun loaded. But anyways,
I didn't have a gun loaded.
we, like, the game has very cool mechanics. Crafting is really interesting. You discover recipes and then you can use whatever you need from that to build. You can build bases.
Can build bases?
Not like super elaborate, but you can build pretty big bases.
I think the crafting is something they're going to work on. I'm pretty sure this is an early prototype of what they want to be players able to do.
I can imagine eventually you're going to be able to do some very, like...
build monstrously huge things.
Yeah, and I wonder if you're going to be able to use more than the materials you can now. Now it's wood, metal sheet.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what you're building out of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if eventually you'll be able to do things differently. Like, there are giant rocks everywhere, so I'm wondering if eventually you'll be able to use stone.
Maybe.
That kind of thing. I don't know, but I mean, we've been able to have. We use one server. Won't tell you which one, so you don't come find us. But and we've built. I say we. I haven't played that much. A friend of ours and Kevin have built a nice base. We've lost one of our bases, and we've built another one, and. There have been bugs, there have been issues, such as the loot the other day.
Since it started, they've been having issues with loot. At first, nothing was respawning anywhere ever. Eventually, they did fix that to where stuff would spawn like on the ground or just laying around. Stuff would spawn, but a lot of the loot from the game is supposed to come within containers, and that has never worked since day one. It's never worked. However, so what was happening was players kept complaining about how there was never any loot around. And there wasn't, honestly. Like, I played for the first 3-4 days, I probably played for 10 hours, and I think I found maybe one water bottle the entire time. Yeah. In 10 hours. You find absolutely zero.
The difference now is there have been a few patches, and it went from the drain just dripping to the floodgates opening. The other day there was what kind of an issue after a patch?
Well, I think what happened was there was the containers, as I said, nothing was ever spawning in them, and they had turned up the loot so much to appease people that when they finally fixed the actual issue, that loot was literally just spawning everywhere all the time. Like, you would pick up, like, on a nightstand, like 900 bullets for a shotgun, turn around, and they would be right there, respawn again within 30 seconds. And there would be another 100 shotgun shells. It was ridiculously over the top, stupid. But they balanced it down. It's closer to where it needs to be. Again, this game's only been out for 2 weeks. We've already had, 6 or 7 major patches.
There have been big patches.
And so, like I said, you put this side by side, and you cannot help but compare it to DayZ, and we will do so because we can. H1Z1 is way more polished. The crafting is 100,000 times better. The actual movement mechanics are 100 times better.
The mere fact that there's an auto run in H1Z1, if you've ever played DayZ, you know that by itself is a huge upgrade.
H1Z1 is also a little less hardcore, I will say. It's faster paced. It's not as realistic. That is one thing that DayZ has going for it. It is the ultimate simulator of survival horror.
Slow.
It is slow.
Steady.
It is steady.
And
it is huge.
Gigantic.
It is gigantic. H1Z1 is so much smaller than the DayZ map. Now, eventually, they might even that out. I don't know. But, like I said, in terms of just sheer playability, H1Z1 wins by 100 times, even though it is only 2 weeks old.
First person and third person, to me, both are better on H1Z1. Shooting and aiming 10 times better. Like, it is so wonky on DayZ still.
Yeah, like I said, DayZ has been in early access for over a year now.
Yep.
Getting close to a year and a half, and it is still honestly a buggy, unplayable mess 90% of the time.
Yep. There are issues in DayZ where you drop an item to hand to somebody, and that will fall through the level, possibly through the earth, and either be gone, or if you're on the top floor of a building, it's fallen down 2 levels, and you don't really know why.
And things have a tendency to duplicate in H1Z1 all the time.
Which is an issue.
I've accidentally duplicated stuff, like with rabbit traps, all the time duplicated stuff. and
Corn.
We duped all kinds of stuff, but that was like purely on accident.
Yeah.
And dupers are a huge problem right now.
And they're talking about what, blacklisting people if you get caught, if you get caught
duping stuff. But like I said, we'll see what it goes. But overall, like I said, in terms of graphics, not great, but decent. In terms of playability, I would say it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
In terms of crafting, one of the best crafting systems I've ever seen in a survival game.
Community, meh.
It's a survival game.
And
everyone's going to be trying to kill you.
Yep.
Like I said, my first 3 lives, one dude, right when I spawned, first time I spawned, ran by a dude. He said, "Hey dude, you friendly?" I said, "Yes," and then he shot me in the back of the head with an arrow. Second time I spawned, some dude with a British accent started running at me and screaming, "What's up, cunt?" while he beat me to death with his fists over and over again until I died. And the third time I spawned, I think I got hit by a car.
Yep.
Almost immediately.
That's
those are my
side.
first 3 lives.
H1Z1, vehicles are prominent.
Yes, you can get vehicles in H1Z1. They are fun, although they roll over and blow up, much like PlanetSide 2 if you've ever played it. The handling is awful.
Bad memories.
But I give it a 7 out of 10. Even in alpha, I'm going to give it a 7 right now. It's solid. Like I said, it's not great, it's not excellent, it's not doing anything new, it's not revolutionizing the genre, but it is a solid example of what a survival horror game should be.
To me, it's the best one yet.
I agree with that. I think it's the best one yet. Like I said, there have been a lot of survival horror games and a lot of really bad survival horror games.
Yeah.
This one is solid. It's not great, but it's
not
solid.
terrible either. I would agree, to me, this game can only get better. I don't see them making any decisions that'll make this worse. And the reason I say that is, it is still early access, so that things are still going to improve. To where I can see our rating going up from... I agree with you with a 7. I can see that going up as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're planning on making the level... Their plan is I believe they said they want it to be twice the DayZ world.
Which... Okay.
Twice the DayZ world, and they want to have 2,000 players a server.
Before we continue, if you were to run from, let's say, the southeast corner to the northwest corner of the DayZ map, how long do you think that would take us?
3.5 hours, 4 hours.
We're not kidding by that either. They've made that map so gigantic.
I believe it is 64 square kilometers. Is what they No,
it's more than
I think it's 256 square kilometers.
Yeah.
I think it's 256 square kilometers.
Which is
colossally huge.
It takes forever to get anywhere, but I mean, so if they're talking about making it bigger than that, it is going to be gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Sony Online Entertainment has dealt with giant maps, because PlanetSide would also have maps where if you were trying to run from one side of the world to the other...
It's not DayZ big, but they're big.
They're pretty big. A continent, if you had to run from... Let's say you ran from one warp gate to the south warp gate, you're talking, that's a long run.
Yeah, but it wouldn't take you that long, because you're way faster.
Oh, that's true.
But anyway... Regardless of all that, point being that they're looking to, like I said, they want to make it at twice the size of DayZ. They want to have 2,000 players per server. That is their in-game goal. And while that's going on, adding more vehicles, adding more weapons, adding more stuff, and like I said, I think it will be, when it is done, an excellent, excellent game. Right now, like I said, it's playable, which is a huge, huge mark in its favor, because it is the most playable early access survival horror game there is right now.
And there were times where DayZ was not playable.
DayZ's still not really playable.
It's very aggravating.
It is a mess. And H1Z1 can be aggravating, but the bugs are significantly more localized.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're not saying this game's perfect either. There are issues with, I would say definitely, there are some bugs, whether it's launching the game, whether it's not getting just random crashes, whether there are still issues that are getting worked out. It is early access, so don't get it wrong that we're thinking, oh, this is perfect, this is great. That's not the case. There is places to go better, but we're saying for an early access game, this is a very good game.
Yeah, like I said, Sony. The big controversy originally with this game was back in October. Smedley came online and said, "Hey, we're coming out with this new zombie game. It'll be out in 4 to 6 weeks, and it's going to be great."
Yep.
Well, months later, like, we still got no DayZ. Everyone's freaking out. But Sony Online did
H1Z1.
what H1Z1 did what DayZ did not, and that is when Early Access first came out, DayZ was completely 100% just a mess.
It was bad.
It was a mess. It's gotten better since then. Granted, it's been in development for a year and a half. It's better, but it's still bad.
Well, and the scary thing with DayZ is it's been in development for a year and a half, and realistically, it hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's still the same game. Pretty much a year and a half
It's
later.
still broken, and to me, DayZ is has a large issue of people scripting things and hacking things. That's a big issue. Like, DayZ is a game where if you do have a few items that are hard to find, you can definitely be overpowered. And it's to where people are scripting and having unlimited ammo or unlimited other items, and that's a huge issue in there. Not to say that that's not going to happen with the H1Z1.
It has. There's hackers, there's dupers.
But
there's people
it's
with mounds of ammo and flying around and
Yep.
murdering people with shotguns.
Yep.
It's in there. It's happening right now.
Yep. But hopefully they'll get fixed.
But it doesn't happen all the time to everyone.
No.
And in DayZ, it happens a ton.
All
Now,
the
like I
time.
said, they're two different games. I understand that, and we're comparing them because you have to. They're the same genre.
And it's the easiest.
But like I said, H1Z1 left itself in the cooker for much longer, and it came out much, much, much more done than DayZ did. And like I said, DayZ has a lot of catching up to do.
Yep.
In terms of sheer playability. So, we've ran longer than we meant to, but that is fine because this game is good. Buy it, play it. It's $20. If you want to hold off and wait till it goes free to play, it'll probably do so in the next 4 to 6 months, and you can get in for nothing. If you want to play it now, feel free to do so. It's a solid buy.
And like, share, subscribe. Again, if you think anybody else you know would like these videos, let them know.
If you'd like us to review a game for you guys, feel free. Let us know. We will buy it, we will play it, and we will tell you what we think.
And we'll even say, any game. Board game, tabletop game, video game.
We are not above tabletop.
We're very open to all that.
I DM a mean Pokemon Tabletop Adventures.
He's not kidding. Gotta catch them all. So, by all means, thank you for watching. And
Tune in next time, and thanks for staying until after the credits.